Hey everybody, welcome back to the wood shop.
In our last video, we prototyped a new shipping crate for our friends at Mr. Tibbs Trading Company.
Now this crate is designed with a friction fit lid that eliminates the need for any hinges or latches. They've not seen this one yet, and we thought we would spend today making them a second option.
This next prototype will be made with a sliding lid, which still eliminates the need for hardware.
Now it's going to be similar in size to this one and still made out of pallet wood.
Stick around and see how we do it.
Before we get started, please like and subscribe, ring that bell, it'll help us out a lot.
Before we can start planing our boards, we have to empty this 5-gallon bucket. These are all the shavings from the last crate.
Well, now we have all this wood planed, and you can see most of it is poplar. I know there's at least one board in here that's just regular pine.
We're getting ready to cut the widths on the table saw for these planks, and as you can see, we have them separated into 3 separate stacks. This one right here will be cut to 3 inches wide. This will be for the floor and for the front of the box.
And of course, if you watched the last video where we made this crate, the front and the floor are 3 inches, so nothing changes on that front.
The next stack here, these are going to be for the 3 sides, the sides in the back of the box. These are going to be cut to 3 3/8 of an inch.
That's what changes. These sides have to be taller, and so does the back. The sides have to compensate for the dado slot that the lid is going to slide into, and the back has to be higher for a stop at the back of the lid.
And these last 3 boards here, these are what we're going to use for the lid, and they'll have to have custom cuts. We'll have one that's 3 inches and 2 that are 3 1/4 inches. Now, just depending on the thickness of your planks, the size of your lid could change, but we have about 3/8 of an inch. That's what our planks are. And so we did some calculations, and the total for our lid should be right about 9.5 inches.
Yeah, somewhere in that range. We're going to go ahead put the rest of the box together before we make the lid. That way we can make it just right. Alright, the first step over here at the table saw, same as most of the time when you're using pallet wood. We'll just take a dusting off one side, get it good and squared up, then we'll rip them to their final width on the other side.
All right, as usual, now that our boards are cut to width, we've moved to the miter saw. We're going to flush up the end of each board and cut them to length. Now that we have all of our boards cut out for this box, we're going to start putting everything together. These are the boards for our floor, and they are 3 inches wide, 12 inches long. These are some strips that we cut out for framing. They are 9 inches wide because we're going to put them across like so. So let's get our glue and our air nailer and get to work. Next, we have our side panels. These are also 3 inches wide, and they are 9 inches long. Same process, wood glue. Alright, now it's time to put together our side panels. And these are a little bit different for this crate than what we're used to. These are, how wide are these?
They're 3 5/16. Now the reason for the extra width on these boards, we had to have 5/8 extra height on this box in order to get a dado in there to slide this lid in. So when I nail these on, if you'll notice, at the top I'm leaving about 3/4 of an inch before I drive a nail here. That way, when I cut the dado on the table saw, I'm not sawing into nails. Okay, now that the side panels are put together, I've got to cut a dado in each one of them. Now the lid is about 3/8 of an inch thick, so it'll take 3 passes across the blade. I've got it set to go in about half the thickness of this side board. I'm going to start at 6 inches from the bottom. That's where the lid normally sits on our other crates, and that's the height of the front of this one, so it has to start right at the top of that and slide in there. I'll probably go ahead and do like 2.5 blade widths, and then we'll work our way up a little bit at a time, get a good tight fit.
Alright, now that we have dados cut in our side panels, we're going to finish constructing the body of the box. Alright, now that the body of the box is constructed, we are going to take a measurement to figure out how wide the boards for the lid need to be. And we're just going to measure from groove to groove where we cut those dados. And it looks like they need to be right at 12 3/8 of an inch. Alright, we're in the home stretch. We're going to put together our lid and see how it fits into our box.
Now the rest of the box has been thicker than this lid. I've been using 1-inch brad nails, and it's a good thing I thought to replace these with 3/4 inch before I drove these nails.
Alright, we have our lid put together. We have done quite a bit of sanding, and I want to tell you why. We did a gauge of these dados on the table saw. We fit our boards in there, And when the lid was totally constructed, it was still just a little bit tight. So we did a little bit of sanding there. Now I'm going to just hit everything with some 120 and get it ready for some wax. Alright, it's the last part of our project. Everything's sanded down nice and smooth. We're just going to put some paste wax like all of the crates. We just put some paste wax on here. Condition the wood, bring out its beauty. We'll be done.
There you have it. It's another prototype shipping crate for Mr. Tibbs Trading Company, and I believe this is my favorite one.
As you can see, no hardware is required. They do use some twine or rope to tie up their boxes, so that will be helpful, but we'll show you here how that lid just slides off, just like that. It's very, very similar in size to the other crates that we've made. And if they wanted to put a special label on it, they could always ship it like this and say, this side up. Kind of looks like a little cabinet, doesn't it? But we'll show you just for a comparison. This is the new prototype. And this is the friction fit lid. So really not much difference in size at all.
Now if they do pick this new one we just built, there are a few things I would probably change. These strips on top on the lid here are a little too thick. They stand up a little bit too far. And this board in the front here, this top board, probably would need to leave some tabs sticking up over here maybe just to fill in this empty space. I think those two things would improve this a little bit.
We're really excited to present these two prototypes to our friends at Mr. Tibbs Trading Company. We're excited to see which one they choose, and hopefully this Christmas you'll see one of these boxes at your very own doorstep.
Don't forget to give us that thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell so you never miss an episode. And you can check us out on Facebook at Wood Songs by Russell as well.
Thanks again for joining us today. Happy woodworking!